A young man is recording himself and his pretty girlfriend on a beautiful beach in Spain as they share a romantic moment. Then, without warning, the man, Mitch, pulls out his mother's engagement ring and proposes.
I love you more than anything. Will you marry me?
His girlfriend, Katrina, lights up with joy and says, yes. The couple is all smiles, and as Mitch hurries to the bar to grab some drinks, a few strangers nearby cheer them on. But the happiness doesn't last. Suddenly, chaos erupts on the beach. Armed jihadi militants storm the shore, opening fire on the crowd. Mitch hears the gunshots and bolts through the sand, frantically searching for Katrina. A bullet rips through his leg, but he keeps going, shouting her name. Before he can reach her, Katrina is gunned down by the leader of the attack, a man named Mansour. Mitch takes another hit and collapses just feet away from her body, unable to do anything but watch her die. Well, today we're recapping the 2017 movie American Assassin. If you like intense thrillers, don't forget to like and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's next. Back to the story. 18 months pass. Mitch now lives alone in a dim apartment, consumed by the loss. He spends his days training relentlessly in mixed martial arts, trying to harden himself, but his short temper keeps getting him thrown out of gyms. At night, he dives deep into extremist chat rooms, slowly earning the trust of the same terrorists who destroyed his life. He even begins chatting directly with Mansour, pretending to be interested in joining their cause. Their conversations grow more frequent. Mansour questions him on religion and ideology, never suspecting that Mitch is being watched. Back in the US, CIA Deputy Director Irene Kennedy has been quietly monitoring the entire exchange. When Mansour finally sends Mitch an invite to meet in Libya, believing he's found a new recruit, Mitch prepares to walk straight into the lion's den. As soon as Mitch arrives at the compound, a group of armed men surrounds him and begins a thorough body check. But they miss one small detail. Mitch has cleverly stashed a razor-sharp blade inside his sunglasses. While being searched, he slips it into his hand without anyone noticing. With his face covered and wrists bound, they escort him to meet the man he's been hunting, Mansour. Mitch is tied to a chair when he finally comes face to face with him. Mansour starts asking questions, quoting verses, and testing Mitch's knowledge of the Quran, hoping to confirm his loyalty. Mitch plays along, giving just the right answers while slowly working the hidden blade against the ropes behind his back. His mind is already racing. He's planning to take out everyone in that room. But just as he's about to strike, everything explodes into chaos. A US Special Forces team crashes in, guns blazing. They wipe out the cell in seconds, including Mansour. Mitch, still burning with rage, grabs a knife off the ground and plunges it repeatedly into Mansour's dead body until he's dragged off screaming by the soldiers. Later, he wakes up in an interrogation room after 30 days of debriefing at a CIA facility. Across the table sits Irene Kennedy, calm and composed. She knows everything about Katrina, about the massacre, even about the car crash that killed his parents when he was just 14. She sees what's driving him, and instead of locking him up, she makes a different call. Kennedy recruits Mitch for a secret Black Ops unit based in Virginia, run by a Cold War legend named Stan Hurley, a no-nonsense former Navy SEAL. Once there, Mitch is thrown straight into training.
Hey, it's front and center. Sorry, do I look like one of your college professors? You talk to me, you call me sir, son.
Yes, sir.
Hurley isn't impressed. He sees Mitch as reckless and emotional, but the lessons are brutal and real. Hurley teaches them how to take down enemies in seconds, how to crush a throat with one move, and that if capture is imminent, the last bullet should be saved for themselves. Inside a fake department store set up for training, the recruits are given a clear mission: memorize enemy faces and take out only the assigned targets. But Mitch goes overboard. He fixates on the task and keeps shooting long after he should have stopped, showing zero restraint. In another drill, Hurley pushes things further. This time, the recruits face simulated threats popping up on a screen. Suddenly, Mitch sees Mansour's face among the images, though he isn't part of the assignment. It's a test designed to trigger him. Still, as the exercise ends, Mitch is the only one left standing. He's reckless, but clearly the most resilient in the group. Meanwhile, far from the training grounds, a shady deal is going down inside a van in Poland. Several men are negotiating the sale of stolen weapons-grade plutonium from a Russian facility intended for Iranian hardliners, upset with their government's nuclear deal with the US. Among them is a mysterious man known known only as Ghost. Just as the deal is unfolding, 2 police officers approach the van. Ghost greets them calmly, inviting them to take a look, but in a flash, he pulls his weapon and kills both officers. Then, without blinking, he turns on the buyers and wipes them out too. Chaos erupts as Ghost fires at nearby police and disappears into the crowd. Back in the US, Hurley watches a news broadcast about the attack. He instantly recognizes the shooter. It's Ronnie, a former trainee of his who went rogue and was believed to have died in an airstrike. Realizing the threat, Hurley instructs Kennedy to send the team to Turkey to track down the buyer Ghost is working with. The team links up with their contact, Annika, who pretends to be Mitch's girlfriend as they work to get close to Sharif, the buyer. But things quickly spiral out of control when their cover is blown at a restaurant. In the chaos, one of their teammates is fatally stabbed, and Sharif slips away before anyone can stop him. Hurley immediately orders them to abort the mission. Refusing to walk away, Mitch captures Sharif's driver at gunpoint and follows him into his hotel. He slides into the apartment. A brutal shootout erupts between Mitch and Sharif's bodyguard. Mitch takes him down, then storms into the next room to find Sharif begging for his life. But in a split second, Mitch sees Mansour in Sharif's place. Driven by a flash of rage and trauma, he guns Sharif down and grabs his laptop. When he reunites with the team, Mitch insists he did what had to be done. Hurley, however, isn't impressed. He scolds Mitch for ignoring protocol and shows him video footage of Katrina from the day she died. Mitch snaps, but Hurley holds him back and makes one thing clear.
You made a big mistake. You let emotion cloud your judgment. Never, ever let it get personal.
While the team is staying in a hotel in Rome, where they're tracking a nuclear physicist needed to craft the plutonium into a weapon, Annika helps Mitch by cleaning up one of his wounds. As they talk, she casually mentions that they'll be able to catch the Ghost tomorrow. This surprises Mitch because no one had mentioned Ghost's name around her before. Right away, he becomes suspicious. Later, he confronts her in the bathroom. He pushes her, and they get into a rough fight. Mitch forces her head underwater and demands the truth. Struggling, Annika finally admits she's working with Iranian intelligence. The CIA takes her in for questioning. During the interrogation, she admits she is a spy, but she says she isn't working to help Iran's hardliners. Instead, she claims she's trying to stop them. Annika explains that these hardliners want to get their hands on the stolen plutonium and use it to attack Israel, which could start a deadly war. She says she only joined them to stop that from happening. Meanwhile, Hurley sets up a meeting with an old contact who turns out to be Annika's uncle. He wants to get more information about Annika and the stolen plutonium. But before they can talk, Ghost suddenly shows up. He shoots and kills the uncle from a distance. Then he captures Hurley and takes him away. Ghost tortures Hurley brutally. He uses pliers to rip out his fingernails, trying to force him to talk, but Hurley stays silent.
I got 9 more. I like this.
To rattle Ghost, Hurley calls him by his real name, Ronnie, but Ghost isn't shaken. Instead, he makes things worse. He drops a live spark plug into a bucket of water and places it near Hurley's feet, threatening him with more pain. Back at the CIA safe house, Annika is being moved under guard by 2 Mossad agents, but Mitch intercepts the car and helps her escape, believing she can lead him to where Ghost is holding Hurley. Together, they track down Ghost's secret hideout, an underground base where he's building a nuclear bomb. Inside, Hurley is being held and tortured. Before Mitch can reach him, a group of Iranian hardliners arrive at the base to claim the finished weapon. Hurley warns them. Ghost is lying to them, using them to carry out his own plan, but the warning comes too late. Ghost suddenly turns on them and guns them all down, clearing the path for himself. He grabs the weapon and prepares to escape. Mitch makes his way through the tunnels and finds Hurley alive. He frees him just in time. But Ghost isn't finished. He grabs Annika and uses her as a hostage, holding her at gunpoint to keep Mitch away. In a shocking and tragic moment, Annika sacrifices herself. She shoots herself in the head, giving Mitch a clear shot. But Ghost escapes with the bomb. He flees onto a boat with the weapon in tow. Hurley quickly realizes what Ghost is about to do. He's planning a suicide mission, aiming to crash the boat into the U.S. Navy's 6th Fleet and set off the bomb. Mitch takes off in pursuit, racing to stop the attack. Meanwhile, the Sixth Fleet is warned through CIA channels and begins preparing for a possible nuclear strike. Upon learning about the incoming nuclear attack, the U.S. Sixth Fleet scrambles to prepare. Meanwhile, Mitch boards Ghost's boat and faces off against him in a brutal hand-to-hand fight. Ghost stabs Mitch and nearly overpowers him, but Mitch manages to turn the tide, using the same knife techniques Hurley taught him to finally take Ghost down for good. Wounded and bleeding, Mitch doesn't stop. He pilots the boat out into open waters, away from the fleet, just like Hurley instructed. With seconds to spare, Mitch throws the nuclear device into the sea and jumps onto a Navy helicopter sent by Irene to extract Hurley. The weapon detonates beneath the waves, unleashing a massive underwater explosion that triggers a huge sinkhole and tsunami. The towering wave slams into the Sixth Fleet, but the ships survive the blast. In the aftermath, Hurley is shown recovering at a hospital back in the United States. He watches a news broadcast announcing that General Rostami, one of the hardliners who supported Ghost, is now the leading candidate for Iran's presidency. On live television, Rostami boldly blames the nuclear incident on the CIA and threatens to destroy America. Hurley notes that Mitch is on vacation in Dubai. Meanwhile, in Dubai, Rostami steps into an elevator flanked by his security team. As the doors begin to close, he turns and freezes. Standing silently behind him is Mitch, watching him with a calm, steady smile. Alright guys, that's the end of this story. How did you like this film? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye bye.